And welcome back to Chicago Bulls Insider. Today, we're talking about Matas Buzelis making the second team of the all-rookie team. We're going to be talking about that, along with his impact this season and what we can expect from Matas Buzelis for next season. And so before we go ahead and we jump into it, I first want to remind you to slam dunk on that subscribe button, just like Matas Buzelis does in games. And so in exchange for slamming on that subscribe button, I'm going to give you nothing but daily content around the Chicago Bulls. So make sure you hit that like, you hit that subscribe, and you join the Chicago Bulls Insider family as we talk nothing but Chicago Bulls basketball. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and let's jump into it. And so we're talking about Matas Buzelis, and he made the second team of the all-rookie team, which is great to see. I think that Matas Buzelis definitely could have made the first team had he got a chance to play some more, but this was the actual team and how it broke down. And so you could see that the first team, you had Stephon Castle of the Spurs, Zach Edey, Zachary Rizachet, Alex Sarr, and then Jalen Wells. They were on the first team. Then the second team, you have Matas Buzelis, Bub Carrington, Donovan Clegan, you have Eve Missy, and then also it was Khalil Ware who made the second team as well. And so this was good to see that Matas Buzelis definitely made the team. I think he definitely deserved it. And again, I think that he certainly could have made the first team, because when you look at the numbers, you will see a player that really, for his rookie season, he didn't get a chance to play as much as the guys that were on the first team. In fact, his numbers, he had 8.6 points per game, zero point 0.4 with the steals, 0.9 in block shots, 1 assist a game, 3.5 rebounds. He shot 85 or 81.5% from the free throw line, 45.4% from the field on 18.9 minutes. And that's even with Matas Buzelis starting at the end of the season there. And so, I just think that with the minutes, you give him some more minutes, then certainly I think that you would see some more production from Matas Buzelis, which leads me to point number one with him. I think that whenever Matas Buzelis was given more responsibility, I felt like that he definitely stepped it up. I know it was a bit of a learning experience for him out there. And did he, succeed at everything he did? Absolutely not. But he was the type of player that, he took on challenges head on. And, I think for the most part, this is a player that we absolutely love here in Chicago, because whenever you challenge Matas Buzelis, it seems like that he is up for the challenge and he comes back even better. Because coming out of the draft, one of the things that they said about Matas Buzelis was, well, could he shoot the three ball? And you see that he shot 36.1% from three in his first season, not being a full-time starter. And so that is great to see with Matas Buzelis doing that. I think the next step for Matas Buzelis is he's going to have to be a little bit more, I think, assertive on the offensive end, which we're going to talk about that in a moment. But again, just going back to the point, look, Matas Buzelis, you give him the opportunities, he's certainly going to run with it. And with Billy Donovan and the way that they decided to, really coach him up in his first year, Billy Donovan really, held on to Matas Buzelis pretty tightly there. I mean, and not letting him come off the bench and really get some minutes. Initially, he had to really work himself into the rotation or whatnot. Remember when Matas Buzelis first got out there, he literally was just standing in the corner and shooting three-point shots and things like that. Tons of energy and everything else. But initially, that's how Matas Buzelis really started off. And then towards the end of the year, once the Chicago Bulls really started to play him some more, they started him, we went 15-5 over that stretch. He averaged 13 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, and 1.9 assists. But you saw more from Matas Buzelis, especially on the offensive end. I think we got a chance to see just how crafty he is. I love his one-legged step through that he has there. We got a chance to see him in transition. We got a chance to see him create a little bit more off the dribble as well. And I think that is going to be important going into year two. And, one more note about his rookie season, and this was according to Elias Schuster on Bleacher Nation when he was writing about this. But look, Matas was 5th in total blocks at 75, and this is amongst rookies. He was 8th in total points scored at 688 and 12th in total rebounds at 278. And so once again, I think that, yes, Matas makes the first team. I'm so glad that he made the second team. And I just think that there are tons of things that Matas Buzelis is going to achieve in his career. I've said this before, I'll say it again, that Matas Buzelis is going to be responsible for the Chicago Bulls winning a lot of games in the future here. And so with that being said, what do we expect of Matas Buzelis next season? And so I think with Matas next season, on offense, I think the first thing that we should expect to see is that the scoring is going to go up a bit more. I think that he can easily become a player that averages anywhere from 16 to 18 points. And I think the difference there is not going to be Matas Buzelis just necessarily being aggressive. I don't think that that's anything that we have to worry about with him. But I do think that Billy Donovan is going to have to really turn him loose a little bit more, which means that he's going to have to draw up some plays for Matas Buzelis and really, actively put him into some actions to where Matas Buzelis is featured in the offense. Because I think that this is why we're encouraged as fans, because Matas Buzelis had a solid season. And I can guarantee you, Billy Donovan probably didn't draw up a whole bunch of plays for Matas Buzelis like that. I don't think that that was necessarily the case. And, with Josh Giddey and Coby White, those guys are the main guys here in Chicago. And so for Matas Buzelis, look, he's just trying to find his way in his rookie season. And so I think, that's point number one. I think the offense is going to be a little bit more geared towards him next season with where he gets his touches and things like that. We know what type of athlete he is in transition and whatnot. And so we can expect that he's certainly going to get his points there. So I think that that is one of the things that we can expect from Matas Buzelis moving forward next season. And then next, defensively, look, Matas Buzelis, I thought was terrific as, just a shot blocker and really a guy that could erase mistakes. But we're going to get a chance to see him, I think, now step into more of a role of a better on-ball defender. I think that that's the next step for him defensively, and it starts with the work that he's going to do in the weight room. I think that by him getting stronger, he's going to be able to stop players from really kind of pushing him out the way and getting to their spots and getting to angles and just getting to spots on the floor where they can get him into a foul or, go ahead and score over him or whatnot. And I think that that comes from just getting some more strength. He's going to be able to fight off, the offensive player that way. Two, you're not going to be able to screen him as easy as well. And so I think because of that type of resistance, you're going to see a much better on-ball defender, because I think that that is part of the deal as a defender. You need to get stronger. I think the lateral quickness and just his ability to read and react, I think that that's there. And then next for him, the rotations. I think that there were several times, during the year, he did miss some rotations. And so, like I said, Matas Buzelis wasn't perfect all the time. And yes, he was challenged, but I think every time that he was challenged, he came out there and he got better. And so he's going to have to get better with the rotations, going to have to get better as an on-ball defender. And I think offensively with that, when they give him some more responsibility, he's going to have to be a bit more efficient from the field. I think that that's something that we are going to see with Matas Buzelis. He's not just going to settle out there on three-point shots and stuff like that. I think he's going to have a lot of things in his bag, which is why I'm super excited to see what it's going to look like here next season for Matas Buzelis. But anyway, you guys let me know in the comments here, what are you expecting from Matas Buzelis next season? Do you feel like that, yes, this is a player that we could see going up to 16 to 18 points and really taking off next season, really getting a bit more crafty on the offensive end? Defensively next season, do you see him a player that, look, he becomes like a real problem on the defensive end as far as being able to guard on ball, to go along with just the natural ability that he has and instincts there to read and react? Obviously, he's got to hit those rotations and things like that. But do you see him also taking the step as a defender? Like we talk about it all the time offensively with Matas Buzelis, but I do think defensively he is going to surprise a lot of the league next season with what he's going to come back as. But you guys let me know in the comments here, what do you guys think about Matas Buzelis making the second team of the all-rookie team? And also, too, what are your thoughts for him next season? And as we always say, look, go Bulls, and I will see you guys on the next one. All right, peace.